I'd like to start off by telling you guys where we wrote the song and if it was a normal writing environment for us. Was it?
We wrote the song in Texas, in the green room backstage at these arena shows we did. And we recorded it in the bunk, in the bus, in the dark, in a basement.
God, you recorded it. I thought you wrote it in the bunk.
We recorded it in the bunk. We wrote it in a green room.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, guys, obviously it's your song. It's a great song. But can you tell me what sort of parameters do you have to work within when you're doing a Bond song? Is there something a Bond song needs to be or needs to have?
I think the only parameters around Bond songs are making them Bond. I feel like you just kind of gotta know. It's not really like a rule. There's not like a book of like Bond rules, you know? It's just kind of if you know type thing. And I feel like we wanted to represent Bond as much as possible, but not make it not us at the same time. We wanted to like completely incorporate Bond, but also have it sound like what we sound like. But just try something a little different.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, I think there's like I don't know, like it's a little bit like like the Bond songs are like a great artist, like a Picasso, where like no matter what Picasso paints, you're like, that looks like a Picasso to me. And I think that in many ways is what a Bond song needs to do.
It's got a signature.
I think you know when you hear it, and also like you probably don't have it if you don't know. You know, I think if we were working on a song for a Bond film and we played it for somebody and they were like, that's a cool song, and they didn't go, that sounds like a Bond song, like I think I would feel like we weren't doing our job, you know.
I've got you. Were there any Bond songs from back in the day that spoke to you, or any scores that you particularly liked over the years?
Well, I mean, the Bond songs that spoke to us in the past, I think are our favorite, especially in the Craig series, is Skyfall, and then, you know, I'm a huge fan of kind of anything Paul McCartney does, and I loved Shirley's too. So
Another Way to Die is hard too.
Another Way to Die with Alicia and Jack is really cool. And then the scores for the movies themselves have been really, I mean, we were so excited to work with Hans Zimmer, and we love his score for this film. And then Thomas Newman did the two before ours, and he's one of our favorites also. So it's just a great pantheon to join, you know.
You really mind telling me actually tell me that you worked with Hans on this, and tell me what he sort of shared with you from the broader score, so that whether there was, you need synergy, don't you?
So we wrote our song for this film before Hans came on to do the film. So I think we lucked out in that sense. In many ways, like, that was kind of a gift, and I've been told that there's a couple of the motifs from our song in the rest of the film, which is like a lifelong dream of mine. So that's really cool.
That is really cool. Johnny Marr, can we ask about Johnny Marr? I mean, one of the great guitar icons of our time. How did he work with him, and were you excited to?
I think Johnny and Hans are doing the whole film together, so I think that's the involvement.
They're so great. They're so fun and easy to work with.
The whole time we were in the studio, we were, you know, it's Billie and I do this, but it's very atypical for anyone else to do it. Mostly you don't mix as you go. The loudest thing that you're hearing in the room is like the thing people are working on. So like when we were in the studio, it was like all you could hear were strings. It was too loud. You know, when that's the case, even if the strings sound great, you're like, oh, I kind of want to hear the vocal up. And the whole time, Johnny was like, more guitar. There's not enough guitar. Got to turn it up. It was very endearing.
That's a spot on impression. You can go out and do Johnny Marr impressions now.
I would be clubbed to death, but thank you.
Was writing this song in any way different from the way you write other songs? Did anything, I don't know, lyrics before music, do them together? Was there anything different this time around?
To be honest with you, like, every song we make is different. Like, the writing process is always different. With this one, I think it was chords first, just like that, and that was all we had, and that was like really like that. And then he had this one synth type sound that sounded like a train, and the like in the beginning, and that was how we started, and that was like what made it go. And then we wrote the pre-chorus first, then we wrote the chorus, then we wrote the verses, and then like a couple weeks ago we did the belt. So it was
we're very melody focused.
It
Oftentimes,
started with all melodies.
oftentimes we'll write some lyrics, or Billie will have a great line, and then she'll just kind of improvise a melody that fits the lyric. Because Billie will think of this great lyric, and then she'll just sing something cool.
Gotcha. Can I ask you quickly just to pick out a moment from any Bond film that you love? Is there anything that's ever stuck with you from watching a Bond film?
I have one.
What?
There's a moment in Spectre where he's at like the ski lodge health clinic where he finds Madeline Swan, and security tries to escort him out, and he just decks all of the security guards. And like a final security guard sort of tentatively runs at him, and he goes, "Stay," and then runs away. That was,
He's so dope.
that sounds to me like a Daniel Craig ad lib, but I have no proof of that. It's just a great line in the film.